Well, hello, and welcome to the Points of Interest podcast. This is the most generic podcast on the internet. My name is Josh Hawks. I am the 303 Ninja. And right over there, he is my podcasting partner for life. He is the other guy. It's Mr. Francis Fernandez.
Hey, everybody.
That's it?
Wow.
Just, hey, I know. It's been a couple weeks. You got to work up the energy, I guess.
Well, it's also a lot later than we normally
It
do.
is. It is. Well, you know, when we don't get to talk on a regular basis, sometimes we have the grand intention of starting at 9 o'clock, and an hour later, we're like, oh, we should probably hit record.
You should hit something. You should press the 8 button.
I mean, that's why you saw me confused there for a second before I hit buttons, because I forgot in which order I had to push them in.
If they were cool switches attached to a USB thing, I'm sure you'd remember.
Anything with aircraft switches, I'm going to tend to remember. I kind of wish this Rode recording masturbator, whatever the thing is called, I wish I had aircraft switches for the recording button, like under the cover, and you could hit the switch. I want one. I want that so bad.
They need to build, we need retro gear like that. It's kind of why I got I have this thing for my mic. For some reason, it's escaped. The word is escaping me on what the machine is. But you plug your mic into it so that you can, make sure the volume is
So
on
people can hear you
monitor.
stutter
So
and
people can hear me. Anyway.
a microphone
It's a little
interface.
lot. Yeah, but it has a name. I forget what for some reason it's just. I think it's late. I'm tired too, but it has wood paneling on it.
What the fuck? Okay.
It has wood paneling on it, so it looks retro, and it has like the little buttons and knobs have like little LEDs that look like the fuse bulbs and stuff.
Well, like the
kinda
old
look
tubes.
Little tubes, yeah. So it's like, oh, kind of retro, not much, but it's a little bit of that aesthetic. Make everything that way. Make every device that way. I would love that.
Have you seen the tube alarm clock?
I've seen the tube alarm clock.
That's
I've always
pretty
wanted
cool.
a tube alarm clock, but those are expensive. It's $100 or something like that.
It's pricey for an alarm clock.
Yeah, so you don't want to spend $100 for an alarm. They have tube freaking mics.
They do.
They have mics.
I haven't heard anything good about them other than
No.
they have tubes, and you might have to replace them one day, but tube amplifiers are still a thing if you can find them.
Yes.
For the musicians out there. Who'd have thought we'd start talking about the show about tubes? And most of the time when people talk about tubes, they're like, oh, the country's going down the tubes. I've never seen a tube. You ever seen a tube in the country you live in?
So my bank used to have pneumatic tubes that you just put money in.
Oh, sure. Those are
into
always
the
fun.
thing. Those were fun. So yes, I've seen tubes.
Sure. But the country's going down the tube. I've not seen tube one.
So here's the thing. It's always going down the tubes, depending on who you're talking to.
That's fair. That is
Always
fair.
going down the tubes.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is true. I don't know how to transition out of that. I was trying to think of
Throw it out
something
there.
witty and something in the news, and I just couldn't think of anything that I actually wanted to say.
Yeah, too many things in the news. Oh, before you get started, can I just mention one thing?
Sure. I mean,
So you
it's a
saw,
podcast about nothing, so please bring something up.
So I went to a concert. You saw me, Blue Sky it, or I'm sorry, they call it. I forget what they call it, reading or something. I forget what they call it, but
Rebreed what?
I don't know. They have a stupid name for.
You got to breed before you rebreed, right?
Stupid name for the posting.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Blue Sky. But anyway, you know what Waymo is?
One more time.
Waymo? You know what Waymo is?
I have heard those two, parts of a word, but I don't know what the hell it is.
It's Google's driverless car.
Hmm.
So
Did you
there's a
drive in
car-
one, or did you sit in one and get driven around?
I nearly ran into. Well, I didn't run into one, but it made a U-turn on the road that I was on.
Hmm.
And if you ever see one, it's like a regular car, but it's usually a Tesla, and it has like these gigantic cameras just all around it, like surrounding the car. And there's no one in the passenger seat, no one in the driver's seat. I think they're in the back seat for if there's ever an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But you just trust. You don't intervene. You just trust the car will take care of it. Because there was no one in the passenger seat, there was no one in the driver's seat of the Waymo car.
Now, in Vegas, they got that tunnel. Those are automated, aren't they? Those are automated,
Well,
yes.
Sort of. It's Tesla's autopilot. So Tesla's autopilot goes in those tunnels. So you
Okay.
technically don't have to touch anything.
It's already been mapped and everything, so the car knows what's up.
Exactly. And also Tesla doesn't claim that you can just not pay attention. You have to grab the wheel if you're going to drive a Tesla, even in an autopilot. They're like, make sure you go
right.
around the wheel.
Not necessarily for the tunnel, but
Yeah.
but driving down the fucking the 10 or the 5 or whatever, you should have your hand at least somewhere near the wheel.
You know, he's been in California because he says the number instead of just number. The 5.
Okay, I didn't really think about that, but I guess you're right, because I don't talk about getting on the 25.
Nope.
I don't talk about getting on the 470.
I guess you call it Highway 25 or whatever, right? Or you call it
Just
it
I-25.
what it is. Oh, I-25, yeah.
Interstate.
If it's interstate or not.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
Sorry, I don't live in a state that has fucking, 19 million different roads and cool ways to say them and shit.
We do. We're such nerds here. But anyway, okay. So what did you want to talk about today? I just wanted to bring up Waymo because I'm like, Waymo.
Well, I mean, we gather here today on what is the 38th anniversary of a tragic day in my childhood, and for 7 people it was a really bad day, but it's okay. I try to make things light. You give me a discerning look like that, and it makes me think makes me feel you're disappointed in me.
And I feel like enough time has passed that you can kind of like it. I don't know.
I mean, it's never. I'm not here to joke about 7 people dying, but the Challenger.
No, joke about it, but feel like whatever.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Well.
It's
Anyway.
part of history.
Yeah. And the spoiler alert. I guess kind of spoiler alert for some people that don't know out there. In elementary school, in 86? Yeah, 1986. There was a teacher on the Space Shuttle Challenger, and she was going to conduct some kind of educational thing once they got into orbit. And it was a big deal, and pretty much every school in America was tuned in live for this launch, because once they got into orbit, this is when the lesson was going to happen. So a lot of schools were just like, let's just watch everything preceding up to it. And then it blew up 80 something odd seconds into the launch, a minute and something into flight, the thing explodes. Up until that point, the only thing I wanted to be when I grew up, dink dink, was an astronaut. I didn't look at anything else. I was 9 or something like that, 7, 9, something like that. I don't know, 86, 9, something, 8, doesn't matter. Being an astronaut is the only thing I ever thought about. And I remember watching it, and the thing exploded, and I looked at my friend that was sitting to my right, And I said, I need to pick a new thing when I grow up, to be, because I didn't know you could die doing this. And funny enough, from that moment on, I've had no direction in my fucking life as far as what I wanted to be when I grow up, dink dink, because all I wanted to be was an astronaut.
Well, you and I both had similar unattainable dreams.
Well, the other thing I wanted to be was Godzilla, and that wasn't ever going to happen.
Hey, I wanted to be president of the United States.
I mean, who's to say you still couldn't be?
Well, with everything going on in politics, I would never become the president. I would hate it. I would hate every second of being president. Especially since I would just pass ridiculous laws. I just pass the worst laws, like anyone who has hosted the Points of Interest podcast gets a stipend of $50,000 a year.
Oh, that'd be great.
It was my first executive order. Stamp it. Yeah.
I kind of think presidency should be kind of like the draft or like lottery.
Well, yeah.
Jury duty. It should be more like jury duty, where it's you have to do it, and it's random, and it's just some schmo that just shows up and he gets to be president for 2 weeks, and everybody gets a chance.
2 weeks.
Yeah, why not?
More than 2 weeks. Give everyone a month, at least a month.
Okay, whatever.
It takes a little bit of time to get you into the job. It's like, oh, okay, so and so did this thing.
Yeah, basically that's what it would be. Is just every asshole that goes in there would just look at the asshole prior and be like, nope.
Well, but if you choose it random though, like I like your idea actually. If you choose it random, there's no agenda versus anybody, because it's just a random dude going in, a random woman going in. It's like, oh, yeah, I guess I don't want to look through all that stuff. So yeah.
I only got a month.
Yeah, in a month. I just gotta make stuff happen. I gotta go talk to whatever prime minister, king I have to talk to, and then be done with it.
Oh no. The whole thing would change, Francis. The presidency would just be a thing. That you get to win possibly on this lottery. It doesn't really, it'd be like kind of like what the Queen was to England. It didn't actually mean anything except for like just tradition. Like she had no power really, except to like send people to the tower or something, like whatever medieval power that the king and queen still possess.
So in Ireland, there's this guy called the Taoiseach.
Okay.
And the Taoiseach is their president.
Okay.
Their president has no real power. He's just kind of a funny little Irishman who has a funny little accent. And he does like speeches, and he like opens malls, and he like.
That's what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I'm talking about.
And then the prime minister and the cabinet do all the real like heavy lifting of a government.
Yeah.
He just like. Oh yes, look, here's some Lucky Charms. Ch.
Cha-cha-cha-cha.
You're never gonna catch me. That's yeah. So that's it. So I like that idea. I really do. I think that's a brilliant idea. Josh for president.
Just like jury duty, I'd probably try and talk my way out of it, but.
Since we're still kayfabing your work, Josh for head escort.
Yes. At the same time, no, I don't think I want that either.
He's the escort guy.
Well, I mean, not to break too much kayfabe, Francis, but one of the people I tried escorting this past week punched me in the neck. I couldn't get my dukes up fast enough, Francis.
Well, you dodged, though. I mean, you dodged it enough to...
I dodged enough, and I'm Irish. So, I mean, like,
Like they have to put I'm also Irish.
You gotta swing a little bit harder if you're gonna swing on an Irishman.
I get it. Sure.
And Push, yes, welcome on a Tuesday. We haven't been here. We missed last week for scheduling purposes. And Lee there, present.
Something we have to, something the audience has to get used to. Audience has to get used to the fact that one of us has a job that's just like whenever they ask you to work.
It is. You know what though? I have been able to get them. Well, it's mostly just because of lack of other escorts. But I was able to secure 2 days off in a row, like for the foreseeable future.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so that's good, at least.
Yeah, used to have like split weekends, which is like not a weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
random days off in the week.
that's part of the. Depending on what sector of retail or construction or other types of jobs that like require you to be there for longer amounts of time or because the operation of business is open later, you gotta throw your people around to different times, and it's hard to get a set schedule doing what I do. Let's just say that.
You know how important the Points of Interest podcast is to the world?
Hey, I try to let everybody know.
You need cards. Do you have cards? I don't think you have cards.
I mean, I do for my job, but not for... every time I've printed cards for this, and I put them out at a Comic-Con, at the card table that almost every local show here has, I set them up. I make them look nice. I do a couple laps. I come back. They're gone. Not because somebody picked them all up, because someone threw them away. So then I put another large stack in a different spot, and I come back and check on it, and they're gone too. So I don't know if I'm breaking a rule by just dropping my cards, or if they have to be approved or something. Yeah. So I don't have any more cards. I keep seeing these advertisements for the it's a tap, like a tap card that you just NFC to somebody. That's where it's at. I'm just saying.
Whereas that is, we need to get a celebrity on here as guest one day.
Yeah, we got a whole year to try and do that. So,
who's your dream? Then who would you want as your celebrity guest? Then? Not to derail your topics, but
that's fine. That's a great question, Francis. That is a great question. Two. There'd be two. Okay. Vanilla Ice.
Did you talk? You did talk to him that one.
I've never. No, he was at a show, a Collecticon or something like that, a retro show of some sort. I reached out, got no response. But that is somebody I would love to talk to, just because the dude has lived a freaking weird life. And you can almost say transcended a few different medias just because of all the different shit he's done. And like Flavor Flav.
Oh yeah.
But I don't want to talk to Flavor, right? I want to talk to Jerome or whatever the fuck his name is. I think that's what his name is. That's who I'd want to talk to. Because otherwise you're just going to get, yeah, boy. That'd be fun too. But yeah, I think Vanilla Ice would be a fucking fun conversation.
Yeah, I don't know who I asked the question. I don't even know my answer. Even though the one person I know who would like do it in a heartbeat, but has no real audience is I went to a convention, and their master of ceremonies came up to the group I was with and talked to all of us that was, of course, famous best friend of O.J. Simpson, Kato Kalin. So Kato Kalin talked to us and was like, "Hey guys, thanks for coming to the show."
A possible, accomplice in a murder.
Yeah. Bush thinks we should get MC Hammer.
Hammer would be fun to talk to. I think I just don't know. Like, I know the angle I think I would talk to him about is like, how the fuck did you end up on Cash for Gold commercials?
Well, now a lot of celebrities. This ad came up for a stupid mobile game, like one of those weird like, we need to get coins before the time runs out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was Samuel L. Jackson in this weird like coin mobile game. Like, you're Samuel L. Jackson. You do not need to be doing this. You do anything but this. Why are you doing this commercial? It was really weird. But I'd love to have MC Hammer though. I'd love to ask him why he was not legit enough because he quit music.
I mean, he did quit music. I thought he was too legit to quit.
Yeah. So I'm a little upset by that. So I kind of want to know, like,
fucking hypocrite.
Yeah, I don't want Coolio. Let's get Coolio on.
And Coolio dead.
Is he? Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I don't remember. You know what? It's funny because when I had in my head, I'm like, Coolio would be cool. But I'm like, maybe he's dead, though.
I think he's dead.
I don't know, actually. I hope not. Let's see. Is he alive? Oh, yeah, 2022. Oh,
okay.
Never mind.
I mean, it would have been cool.
It would have been cool. He had a cooking show online for a while.
Mm.
He'd cook it with Coolio. That would have been fun to talk about.
Somebody that is technically still really on my list, I guess. Snoop Dogg.
I'd like to have Snoop Dogg.
Another guy that's transcended a lot of different things. Most famous Crip ever.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say though?
I was gonna say he's kind of a sellout though.
Okay. I gotta somehow try and bring this up without fucking, one, repeating what he said, and two, not make this political.
Okay.
Okay, so Snoop said that if any rapper goes and performs at a Republican inauguration, is a 70s slur ass N-bomb. I won't even say the first part because it's really only, I would say, offensive to the old heads, but I'll tell you later. But then he performed at a recent inauguration, so I don't know. Yeah.
I know that there was another rapper that was like getting a lot of heat.
There was a EDM DJ who, if you look at his name, it's 3LAU, but apparently it's Blau. He performed at a recent inauguration, and the entire EDM community is just turning their backs on this guy.
Okay, look, we're not gonna go there. I'm just rolling my eyes because I think all of that is stupid. So
Sure, but what do you see? Is somebody getting shot outside your window? You looked really intrigued about something.
no, so I didn't realize XO was in here. It said Francis for president. I'll vote for you. I didn't know they said that because it's in the chat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I missed that. I totally missed it.
Oh.
Because their name is in purple, and I'm like, why is that purple name? Why is that name on there? No. So, XO, if you're still here, thank you.
I mean,
Vote for me.
you would have to vote in the world of the lottery draw.
You're in your world.
Yeah. We just
roll
wait.
the dice and hope I get in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of when. I don't know how that would work out. There would have to be some sort of like logistics somehow, because you got to be of like a certain age or something.
Well, you minimum age is 35 still.
Okay, so maybe we'll keep that.
Yeah. They need a maximum age, though. They need an age where you can't go over.
God, can you say that again for the fucking people in the back? Especially the old motherfuckers that keep trying to fucking be president.
Well, and senators and congressmen.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot of
I think it's you're never gonna really see Gen X people stepping up and being politicians because none of us give a fuck.
no. Kind of we're over it.
Yeah, and also, most of the times when you see the generational charts, a lot of them fucking forget Gen X even exists. So that's just fine with us.
It's boomers and then it's millennials. And
Yeah.
then, like, the Gen X was just like, we're here.
But just like when we were kids, nobody gave a fuck about us. So what other generation, Francis, out there had commercials running at 10 o'clock that said it's 10 o'clock? Where are your fucking kids?
That's true.
You didn't, that commercial didn't exist in the fucking 2000s.
See, XO knows. She says that Gen X is just trying to live in peace at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't really. We just want to be left alone. Well, we wanted to retire, but
Since that's not going to happen, leave us the fuck alone. Just like we've always wanted our entire lives. Leave us alone to do what we want to go do.
Yeah, we're stuck in. We're like the weird middle child that the world forgot.
Mhm.
Just that weird middle child.
I wonder if it's the same like across the country or no, the country across the world.
No, it isn't.
Okay,
It isn't.
so just American Gen X just doesn't exist.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, like I said, we didn't matter to begin with, so. The good. I'm glad we talked about that because I debated on bringing that whole thing with Snoop up, because like, come on, man. especially after what you said. I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
Challenger anniversary. Okay, got that. You went and did something fun,
I did. Wait, I did.
didn't you? Didn't you see some sort of GTA
I did.
thing?
Oh yeah. So we talked about this a couple weeks ago. That there's this well, we didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But like, it was just a movie out called Grand Theft Hamlet. It's easy to if you ever decide to watch it, and you said that someone you knew, I don't know, I'll protect kayfabe, I guess.
Sure.
That wanted to watch the movie.
Yeah,
I
well,
can't
they,
find
they
it.
were also trying to nefariously obtain it, so.
Yeah. But it's I get why it did well in like those really hoity-toity movie festivals. Like, I get it. Like, it's an hour and a half of two out of work actors during COVID who are like, we got to do something. We're bored out of our minds. Let's go do this stupid, silly thing. Let's get random people who play this stupid game to be other characters in Hamlet. And they held auditions. They set up set pieces.
Were the peds that they chose, were they Hamlet looking?
No. So
Okay.
everyone, like, there was an alien dude.
Okay.
Like,
That was because when we were starting to talk about it, I was like, how are they going to, because there's only so many peds in the game. Pedestrians. Sorry, I'm talking GTA talk. There's only so many characters in the game. Let's go on.
Yeah. But the emote. And so in order to do it, they also had to figure out all the emotes as well. So they would emote out things.
That's
and, like,
awesome.
It was super clever. And again, they went to like there's a scene where they get a blimp for one of the big scenes where the main characters will jump on the blimp and fly out. But in the documentary, they show them jumping onto the blimp but missing, so they fall to their death in the game. It's like super silly, and everyone's laughing, and there's a little bit of heart to it. It's just like one particular actor who's alone, has no spouse, no no nothing. One of the other actors did have a spouse and kids. This guy was single, but like he had nothing, and so he kind of felt like this Hamlet thing was all he had.
Oh, sure.
So he really fought hard to make it happen, and I won't give away. I mean, there's no spoilers to this, but like, it's worth watching. But they don't show the actual all of Hamlet. They show bits and pieces. Apparently, they live streamed at one point in 2022 the entire Hamlet production in GTA. So they did it.
Wow.
They did the live stream with the whole 2-hour production, where they went around different parts of Los Santos, and they, again, they had everything set up. They had characters do certain, like have certain vehicles or certain things to do, like big acts, and they did it, and they won an award.
Oh, wow.
For it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was that good. So this thing, and then you get to see them afterwards. You never see them. You only see their characters.
Mm.
And it's at the very end, you see them, and they're like, oh my God, they made their avatars look like them. Like some of them did. Not all
Sure,
of them.
sure.
Some of them really made them look like them. And it was really interesting to see, like, oh yeah. But yeah, there's people from all the different parts of the world. It was a really fun. I would recommend it. I hope the person looking for it finds it, because it's a good watch. And yeah, it's not funny. It's just interesting.
Yeah,
like, it's interesting. Yeah.
No, I enjoy that kind of stuff. I mean, I watch a lot of GTA RP stuff, cops and robbers type of stuff. Something that I would definitely enjoy doing. I just don't know if I could pick a character and stay in said character, unless it was just me being myself.
You could just be you.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Be a podcaster trying to make a living.
And in the RP, I'm just running around with a microphone trying to talk to people.
Yeah. You're interviewing people. So. Okay, here's the gimmick. I hope you do this, Josh.
Well, because there's a new computer coming in here pretty soon, so I'll have better graphical computer computing power. So we might be doing some GTA RP here soon.
Just need better internet.
I need better internet. That is true. I'm not going to be doing any RP until I get better internet.
But. Yeah, okay, so your computer, you're able to start, you have all the stuff installed, whatever. And what you do is, you have a, how you're here every Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
You designate a day on GTA where you're in there, and you do a show as your character live from GTA Online, and you walk around and you do whatever you got to do, but you find those other players, you interview them. Hopefully they're not dicks about it.
All right. Just walk into somebody's scene.
Well, yeah, because in GTA in Grand Theft Hamlet, they help when they were holding auditions. Sometimes someone would just come in and just shoot them all down in the game. It's like, well, yeah, you're gonna have people like that.
But I would join like a cops and robbers type of server. But that would be funny to like just interrupt a pullover scene or some whatever scene they got going on, and just walk up and start trying to interview people. That'd be hilarious.
You'd be. I'm sure this is taken, but you could be GTP, right? Grand Theft Podcast, and then you could just go around and talk to people. And I would even wait till 6, because 6 is coming out this year. Get on
that is
6,
true, but it takes
online.
a while for the RP community to catch up, and because of all the mods that they run.
That's why you're the pioneer. You're the first one.
Well, sure.
You're the one that's gonna start.
Yeah.
So you're going to be the one to start it, and people are like, man, I wish I had thought of that. I wish I was as smart as Josh was.
Yeah.
This thing.
I doubt anybody's actually said that out loud, but...
The president of Grand Theft.
For 2 weeks. Or a month. A month. I forgot. We decided a month. As soon as I started thinking about that thing, I always stuck to 2 weeks for some reason. But
Yeah, it's all good.
so yeah, that's the thing. Locally here, this is kind of sad. Yeah, it's sad. So now the show that used to be known as Denver Comic Con is now Fan Expo Denver. But when it started in 2012, it was run by a nonprofit company called Comic Book Classroom. Pop Culture Classroom was the parent company, and then Comic Book Classroom is what the drive, I guess. And what they did was teach literacy through comic books. And part of the curriculum was to develop your own book as elementary school kids. And I think they drew it as well, or they had it drawn. I don't recall. But they would get their books published, as part of the program. Well, I think after the first few years of Denver Comic Con, the name got changed to Denver Pop Culture Con. At that time, well, no, I'm jumping ahead, I guess. I think after 2012, there was a big split between the people running the con and Pop Culture Classroom, possibly. I don't recall. There was a big organizational split somewhere. But Pop Culture Classroom started to suffer because of it. They're the nonprofit that's running this big convention and losing their ass, basically, is what I'm guessing. Because the convention wasn't making enough money to fund, what they were trying to do. Go on. Yeah. You wanted to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. No. So they announced this past week that the 31st, just 4 days from now, they're shutting their doors permanently. And it's it's sad just because the program is really cool. They go in, give comic books to kids that have probably never even held one before, try and get them interested in reading through comic books, teaching them how to read and write because of comic books and superheroes. That's awesome.
So is the big issue that they don't have like an event like a Denver Comic Con to kind of host, so they don't get to put their name out there?
Pretty much. FanX definitely throws them a bone, and they have the big Pop Culture Classroom area of the show, and it's a huge, vast area of nothing but kids stuff. But them as a company, I guess they're just they can't keep afloat. I didn't look too deep into it as further than their social media posts. I know some people that are associated with them who didn't have much more to say than what I had already read. So, it's just one of those things. I think it ran its course, and as sad as it is to see go away, I'm sure something else will come up, down the line. Because all the people are very passionate people that ran the program.
Yeah, you were big. Yeah, you helped with the program, didn't you, for a couple of the Denver Comic Cons or Denver?
Yeah, I mean, well, part of being on the press team for the con was we got, especially when they were in control of the show, we would get heads up, basically. We wouldn't be told who was going to be. So back up a little bit. At Denver Comic Con, every year they would get a celebrity to come to the kids section and get the celebrity to read some short children's book for the kids. Yeah. And like William Shatner did it, I think, the first couple of years, and that was fucking hilarious. I can't think of other people that did it besides William Shatner. I just can't think of them right now. But on the press team, you would get a text that morning or a phone call. Hey, you should really be in the kids' corner at, 11:30. and you show up, you'd be like, oh, what's going on? And then, Robert Downey Jr. would show up or something. I don't know if he did it, but I'm just saying. And he would come and read a book to the kids, and you get to sit there and take pictures. And I did a bumper audio thing one time for them, but I don't even know what they needed it for or used it or whatever. They were just like, hey, they asked a bunch of us with microphones if we would do it. A lot of us said yes. I'm sure they did it for some sort of internal, fundraising thing or something, but
it's the second company you've had to do that for.
Yeah.
Do an internal voiceover.
Well, people like this voice.
Yeah.
The place I used to work at, they did a training video for something. And at the end of it, I asked them, I was like, can I do a voiceover for this? Because this is fucking horrible. Like, you can hear the person rustling around their papers and, like, taking drinks of water and shit. Like, they didn't edit that out.
They didn't care.
No, they didn't.
Just like, yeah, whatever.
Here's
Did
45.
Did you see the words? Oh,
yeah, basically. Did you read the whole script? Yeah. Okay, that's good enough. Did you read it in the time we gave you to? Yeah.
Okay.
The last 30 seconds is someone just speed reading everything.
Yeah.
But,
it sucks that it's going away, though.
It does. Like I said, I'm sure something, down the line will pop up and it'll be something similar, if not the same people. But, it just makes me think back to the early days of Denver Comic-Con, 2012 to, I think they started stepping away at 15 is when it got the first name change. It was in 15 or 16. I don't know. It was cool because the first year of Denver Comic-Con had 10,000 people in it. It was small. It was tiny. It was, a lot of people didn't even know about it. Shit, I was on the press team and I didn't even know about it. It wasn't until the second year where I was like, in the program and actually told I was part of the press team.
I mean, 10K is nothing to sneeze at. But.
No, it isn't. And for a first year show, it was a great turnout. I think it's actually less than 10,000 now that I'm thinking about it. But it doesn't matter. The point being is that this might be going out on a limb, but I don't think Fan Expo Denver would be here if it wasn't for Denver Comic-Con making waves in its early years for other people to look at it and be like, oh, maybe we should look at that show.
Denver Colorado needed a big hometown convention.
Yes.
Denver Comic-Con. So.
And I remember getting contacted by people that, were closely attached to Pop Culture Classroom. They contacted a bunch of local podcasters in 2012. What do you guys think people will think of a Comic-Con in Denver? A big, official, big Comic-Con as opposed to the small shows that had been running for, at that point, 40 years, probably 35 years.
Sure, and even some of those have closed down.
The one I'm surprised is still going locally here is still going somehow. I don't even know how, but they just did their 49th year, I think.
Oh, you better be there for the 50th.
I might go for the 50th just to say I was there.
Yeah, just to see you at the 50th. That's a milestone, man.
It is. We were there for the 50th San Diego Comic-Con.
We were there for the 50th anniversary. That's true.
That is very true. Speaking of 50-somethings, somebody that I was hoping we were going to get to talk about it when it was relevant and just happened, but since we didn't get a chance, we're going to talk about it now. And it's I wouldn't say the fluff piece of the episode by any means, but I don't have a whole lot on this. But Bob Uecker, I always say Bucher. Bob Uecker died. A lot of people are like, who the hell was that? Well, outside of being in the major league movies, I had to look up who he was because I really thought he was just an actor. Apparently, he was a baseball guy. He actually played for the. I think he played for the.
Announcer, though?
He was the announcer for the Brewers for 54 years. That's why I said, speaking of 50 something, 54 years was the play-by-play guy on I think the radio, maybe TV, but definitely he did play-by-play. Doesn't matter where his fucking voice was heard. I only know him from the major league movies. So like I said, I had to look it up, but he played baseball. He was the play-by-play dude. He was Mr. Baseball. I believe, the little bit of research I did, I believe he was more popular outside of the baseball stadium than he was inside the baseball stadium. Johnny Carson had him on a bunch of times, and he was hilarious every time he was on there. I think he missed calling for being an actor.
Comedian?
Or a comedian.
Oh, actor.
As a kid, never heard the guy's name until I saw Major League. And Bob Uecker was one of the funniest parts of that movie series because, let's face it, the movies kind of suck. But, I still, if somebody throws something way outside of my reach, I'll be like, and that was way outside. Some of the quotes of Bob Uecker, behind the mic in Major League. Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of makes you realize that you too are getting old. But here's the thing.
I knew that.
Here's the thing. He was 91 when he died. And when I saw that, it made me start thinking, how fucking old was he in Major League? Because I thought he was old as fuck then.
Well, that was 40, so he would have been in his 50s.
Yeah. Again,
But
we look at people at different 50s, age 50, over the different decades.
Yeah.
50s now, you're starting to look pretty good still. 50s from the 80s, you look like hell.
Yeah.
Red Fox. Red Fox. What was that movie? The show Red Fox was on? Fucking Sanford and Son. Right. Again, we're both Gen X guys, so whatever to young people. But this dude Red Fox was on Sanford and Son. I thought he was in his damn 60s or 70s. He was 42.
Yeah. When you see a lot of people who are in their 40s doing movies and television in the 80s, you're like, 40 looks rough. Like
you go look at
looks like,
look at 20 somethings in the 70s, especially 70s dudes, early 20-year-olds in the 70s dudes. They got mustaches. They look like they're fucking old men.
What doesn't help that they did sport the porn stash. Like,
yes,
the look.
It was a look. It was a look,
but it's funny to me, that for instance, Scarlett Johansson just turned 40.
mm-hmm.
I could have swore she wasn't anywhere near that age.
Mm.
She looks great. Like, a lot of people just look really, really. We're really lucky. Like, I look at you, and I would not say you are the age you are. I wouldn't say you're like, in a few years you're gonna hit the big 50, right? Like,
Right.
Yeah. Like, I would never, that would never cross my mind ever.
I was working with a kid that I don't usually work with this past week, and I said something about being 47, and the kid looked at me and he said, "Oh, my dad's turning 47 this year," and I just was like, "Motherfucker."
Yeah. I mean, because people have kids at whatever age, right?
Right.
Like, some, but yeah, that's so weird. It's just a weird. But that's the thing, though. Here's the thing. No offense to people who are parents, but I do think kids age you
That is true.
Kids will age you, so like it just happens because you're up all night, or you're worrying about another human being, or you're raising them for the first 18 years of their life, and you're like, oh my god, I hope I'm doing it right. So you stress out every day. So it happens, but like the reason we have our fountain of youth is we don't have kids.
Yeah,
Kids.
you're not wrong there. You're not wrong.
You know, yeah. The worst thing we had to worry about was pets, if we had pets.
And quicksand.
Well, yeah. When we were kids, quicksand was the number one killer of people walking in the desert.
Walking anywhere. Forest, fucking desert, sidewalk, you fucking random park. I thought quicksand was going to be the death of everybody when I was a kid. That and I don't know, something nuclear fallout, I guess.
Yeah. But just the last thing I'll say about Bob Uecker is
Yes.
I remember him from Mr. Belvedere. That's where I remember him from.
That's right, because he had a recurring role, right?
Yeah.
I didn't watch a lot of Mr. Belvedere, so I can't comment. But there's fuzzy pictures in my brain of him showing up. And it's probably I saw some clip show or something, looking back at fucking 80s television.
Yeah, during the 80s and early 90s, I had the watching habits of a retiree because I watched like Golden Girls and Empty Nest and all of like these senior focused shows.
Empty Nest. There's a fucking show I haven't even thought of in 35 years. I don't even know what the show was about. I'd see it on the TV guide and be like, nope.
It was about a retired doctor and his kids leaving his home, or coming back to his home occasionally, I guess. But yeah, like that's the sitcom. I was like, here's this retired doctor. And they had crossovers with other, whatever channel it was on shows. So it'd have a crossover here and there. But yeah, I was an old man as a kid. I was watching old people TV. So Mr. Belvedere was on my radar. And real quick, just because I see the text, the chat here, it says EXO says I think I'm doing pretty well for almost 47, despite being a mom. I don't mean
not everybody that has a kid. Not everybody, but
not everyone that has a kid. Yeah.
No, that's breaking too much kayfabe. I'll tell you later.
But there's a lot of celebrities who have children.
I almost slipped up and told a story I shouldn't tell.
Oh, well, you have two things to now tell me.
Yeah.
That you can tell me anyway. But, so yeah. I forgot what I was saying, but there you go. I watch old people TV. Yeah. So that Mr. Belvedere was on my list of regularly watched programs. That and Three's Company. So.
I'm trying to think. As a kid, no, Family Guy, not Family Guy. Family Tie, Family Ties, Family. Yeah,
Family Ties.
Yeah, Family Ties. We watched that. Yeah. And Tom Hanks showed up on that. He was addicted to speed or caffeine or something like that.
I watched Bosom Buddies.
Bosom Buddies was rad. I don't know why it was so much fun, but it was fun. That and Perfect Strangers.
It was two dudes pretending to be women to live in an all-women dorm room.
See, I don't even remember. I just remember enjoying it and laughing.
Yeah. So Bosom Buddies is I forget Scolari. I don't forget his first name. Peter Scolari and Tom Hanks, and they, in order to find cheap rent, they live in a hotel only for women, or like not a hotel, like an apartment building only for women, because they can afford the rent. So they dress and drag, and of course the whole premise of every episode is trying to hide the fact that they're men.
Yes.
Just like Jack Tripper tries to hide the fact that he's not gay. he has to pretend to be gay for Three's Company. They have to pretend to be women. It's one of those 80s. It's an 80s thing, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
In the 80s.
We had fun in the 80s. You know, we may not have been politically correct or, health conscious or worried about, the effects of cocaine, but, we had a lot of fun.
That was political. The funny thing is it was politically correct for the 80s. So
Yeah, well, I mean,
you can't say it wasn't.
that's something I always say, like, you couldn't make Airplane today. Take the same script, different actors, not change any of the words, not change any of the lines. You couldn't make that movie today.
Don't worry, I speak jive. You couldn't have that line.
Right. Revenge of the Nerds. Couldn't make that movie today.
Oh, no. None of the sexy 80s kind of coming of age movies, you couldn't do it because it's too.
But, when you watch those movies, you can't look at them and judge them by today's eyes.
But people do.
You have to have been there. Yes, I'm not justifying saying anything that's in those type of movies is fucking okay and cool and good to do. But it's a different time. You go further back. Go further back. Fuck the 80s. Go further back. You're going to see some shit. You're fucking worried about what happened in the fucking 80s.
It's why I find it funny is because it's like a lot of people. It's that didn't age well. It's like,
right.
What do you mean? It's fine. It's a time capsule of the era.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like that's what it was in the 80s. I know you can't. I know you. It's hard to watch, or why would you watch a movie or a short, I guess, of Song of the South, for instance. Yes, very racist, but if you remember what it was, I'm like, okay, I mean, it exists, the thing that was made.
Right.
Just don't watch it. If you're gonna feel
offended.
But if you watch it and be like, oh, that's how it was.
Didn't Disney, on like almost all of their old movies, put a disclaimer at the front like, hey, the scenes that you see depicted in this movie, they're not seen in today's eyes as good, right, and okay, but, we made it anyway, and here it is.
That's the one movie they refuse to show or put out there in their streaming service.
Which one is it?
So, Song of the South.
Oh, okay.
That's the one they refused to put out there. As a matter of fact, they changed Splash Mountain because that was the theme of Splash Mountain was Song of the South. That was the cartoon that
Which one's Splash Mountain?
It's the one where you're in a log and you're at the top of a waterfall and you just slide down.
Oh, okay.
Real fast.
That's not Matterhorn. Okay, yeah, never mind.
Matterhorn is you're in a bobsled.
Yeah, with the fucking abominable snowman guy. Yeah.
You see a Yeti. But yeah, so they changed it to Princess and the Frog. So it's like, okay. I mean, that's good because that's a more modern movie.
Sure.
That's a better movie. But yeah, I get it. Like, it was a time. You don't have to celebrate it, but also if you encounter it, it's like, yeah, it's of the era. I mean,
like I said, go further back.
Yeah.
Go further back in cinema. You're gonna see some shit. It's gonna be tame to what you're. Some people get offended by today.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you can't get you can.
I mean, yeah, if you're fucking uptight, you got a stick up your ass. Yeah, go ahead and get mad over something that happened before you were born.
Exactly. Somebody we know has a cousin who's 18. This is not even related, but it just reminded me that they questioned our friend and asked, what's it like knowing that our generation, 18-year-olds and younger, are trying to relive the 90s, are getting into 90s fashion? As a person who lived in the 90s, does that bother you that, like, the young generation is trying to adopt, like, the aesthetic and the look and the feel of the 90s?
No, because guess what? Guess what happened in the 90s?
Good things.
A lot of good things happened. There's not only was there a sexual revolution, but there was also a lot of incorporating of different cultures other than yours, and a lot of acceptance. I can't tell you how many kids I saw running around with fucking cross colors. I was one of them. You want to look up cross colors, people, if you don't know what the fuck it is. It was a like a R&B type of clothing line.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And I had some mustard fucking colored pants, and they were fresh.
Oh my God.
Like,
yeah.
There was hip hop, really fucking blew up. The fucking the just the way people dressed. It was all, everybody dressed like a fucking gangster. Not everybody in the 90s, but I'm just saying there was a lot of gangster, what people refer to as gangsters became trendy. And this whole sagging pants thing, 90s. Late 80s, you can argue, but mostly a 90s thing. And why people still do it today, I don't know.
I wore baggy bootcut jeans.
Bootcut jeans.
Bootcut, yes.
Bootcut, so they're fucking tapered.
Yeah. Don't judge.
Hey, I won't judge you, because in the 80s, we wore tapered pants. And then we would tight roll tapered pants, making them even more tapered.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I remember doing stuff like that, though. 80s was, but for me, 80s was corduroy. I only wore corduroy.
Well, the thing about corduroy is that your knees will wear out before the pants do.
Yeah.
Like your physical knees, not the knees in the pants. Your physical knees will wear out before the corduroy wears out. So those are great pants.
Yeah.
You can't sneak because everybody can hear you coming.
True. Oh man. And we were proud we didn't buy new jeans. We put patches. So we patched our jeans back in the day.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie. I patched a pair of jeans like 4 years ago. Somehow I wore through the pocket, and I had a hole in my pocket, but the jeans were fine. They still had life in them. Yeah. But I like my hands in my pockets. I play with my balls a lot, I guess. But yeah, I went and bought a pocket patch. Didn't even know those existed.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm talking about like in the knees and like on the sides.
Oh yeah.
Super visible. Yeah, we would patch them and like show off the patches. Like, look at my patched jeans. Like, I guess. But anyway, yeah. Different era.
Yeah, it's
the 90s. 90s is definitely coming back. Apparently,
if you're gonna grab on to a decade, why not? Why not? It was colorful. It was bright. It was fun. It was energetic.
Yes.
It wasn't the 80s where it was just brown.
It was very brown. Like you said, mustard and brown. Well, mustard was
mustard falls under.
A lot of mustard.
Yeah, I mean bronze, mustard, brown. Those were all 80s colors, man.
Very muted decade.
Earth colors. Earth-based colors were like... Yeah, I think one of the first fridges we had that as a kid that I can remember was an off color of some sort. The first couch that I loved to fall asleep on was fucking 3 shades of brown and white.
Everything was beige.
A lot of beige, brass.
There's this like stock photo or like maybe it was a Polaroid of a living room with couches, and they have this particular like pattern on the couch with like brown shag carpeting and it's like, oh yeah, everyone in the 80s had this furniture set.
Oh yeah.
Living room.
It either came in velour or like
But it was so scary how accurate it was. I'm like, yeah, actually, my grandparents had that same exact couch set, like the same exact one. Freaked me out. I'm like, oh yeah, and
Well,
the same kind of
there wasn't a
carpeting.
lot of variety. Everybody just,
No.
everybody was just too busy spending all their money on cocaine.
Oh man.
That is my analogy for the 80s is,
A lot of coke apparently.
well, that combined with the wacky wall walker as the analogy. The wacky wall walker you would get in your breakfast cereal, little jelly thing. You throw it at the wall. It would stick to the wall and look like an octopus kind of thing, and it would crawl down the wall. That is the analogy for me for the 80s. They did a line of cocaine. They came up with an idea and threw it at the wall. If it stuck, they made it. The 80s were full of fucking gimmicks and products and all kinds of shit. The same cartoon was made 3 different times. The Smurfs, the Storks, and I don't give a fuck what the other one was.
Yeah.
But they literally, they were sitting in a marketing room one day getting super high, and a guy came up with an idea, and he goes, let's make a cartoon about little blue creatures that are 3 apples high, yet somehow live in mushroom houses. And there's a warlock that lives on a hill that wants to eat the little blue creatures. And we never tell anybody why.
Yeah.
Great, let's make it. And then the next year came around and they did another line of coke, and the same guy was like, wait, I've got an idea again. And he started talking about the idea, and everybody said, but this sounds like the Smurfs. He goes, yeah, but it's underwater. And we call them the Snorks. And they're a great fucking idea. They made 120 episodes of it.
Hey, yeah, because you have to hit 100 to go to syndication.
Yep.
So always got to hit that 100 mark.
Well, I just pulled that number out of my ass. I wonder if that's correct. Talk.
It would make sense. A lot of cartoons, if they wanted to be shown on cable or on during the summertime, when no new TV was made, you had to hit 100 episodes so you can go into reruns, into syndicated reruns.
Holy shit, they went 4 seasons.
There you go.
4 seasons at 29 episodes. 29 episodes. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of Snorks.
You were spot on because that's 120 episodes.
Oh, wow.
120 episodes. Yeah.
That's, wow, look at me. Yeah, maybe I missed my calling, Francis. I should have been on Jeopardy or some shit.
Should have been, yeah. You should. Yay! You need to go on a game. I've already been on one, so it's your turn now.
That's true. That is true. God, I wish I could find that episode.
No one's ever
Lost to time. Lost to time. Yeah. Maybe I can contact.
What's gonna happen is
I'll contact NBC
one day,
and ask for the fucking copy of it and give them $25 for it.
One day you're gonna just turn on the TV and you're gonna see my face for a second, and you're not gonna believe it. So you just kind of change the channel, and then you kind of wait a minute, and then you go back and the episode's over. It's oh.
Well,
that's what's gonna happen.
Well, no, let's back it up, because first of all, flipping channels isn't a thing anymore. A.
Yeah.
And if I'm watching classic Price is Right, there is no I'm going to tune in the middle of it or right at the end. I'm there for the whole thing.
Yeah.
I can't wait for them to give away the Eagle Talon that looks like a fucking 4-wheel drive car of some sort.
So wait till the end. I only show up at the end.
Well, yeah. Final contestant. You got to place a bid.
I did get to place a bid.
So you
$500. I bid $500.
On what?
The lady beside me bid $501.
What a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And she won? Or ironically, she didn't.
She didn't win.
Okay,
Someone
good.
bid higher than the retail price, and they won because they were closest.
What a bitch.
$700 from Armoire. It was an Armoire.
What the fuck is an Armoire?
It's like a closet. It's a fancy closet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just learned what a vestibule was
fancy
not too
dress.
long ago. So
A vestibule.
they're like,
So here is
it was something with work.
gazebo.
They were like talking about the vestibule, and I was like, right on, right on, right on. We walked away, and I was like, what the fuck is a vestibule?
It's near the mezzanine.
Yeah, I know that. That's like up, isn't it? The mezzanine, isn't that
Yeah,
up?
it's an upper. It's an upper area. Yeah.
Yeah, you people and your fancy cultured words.
Our $50 words.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I think we've run out of shit to talk about. We'll be back next week, earlier, hopefully.
Will we?
I hope so. Well, I don't have my schedule yet. I know what days off I have. I just don't have the rest of my schedule yet.
Okay.
So I will update Francis, and then we'll figure out between the two of us when we'll be here next. But it'll probably be on Tuesday again. It may not be the normal time. It might be late like this. We'll see. Francis, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at AKA the other guy on all social media. I actually have to update the post because I believe my books are out. I think they are.
Oh, shit.
Follow up with the guy who did it. But my books, I should have a copy soon, so I'll be able to show it off next time that I'm on here. Show off the new books because I got
Yes.
a copy.
We have an actual fucking published writer amongst us. Well, you already are.
Well, now I'm not gonna fight it because I now have 4 published. I'm in 4 published books now, so I'm not gonna fight it anymore. I hit 4, which is a pretty good number.
Francis Fernandez, the other guy. Nice dude. Podcaster. Published writer.
I have an author page on Amazon, so you can check that.
That's pretty awesome because another friend of mine has a page on IMDb.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's the next one. That's the one I want. Is the IMDb.
Well, it's something we can work on maybe this year. We could star in the next Marvel movie or something. There's Blade! That's it. Well, that's where you can find Francis in one place. One name, because he's smart. I am not. I'm all over the place. You can find me at 303_ninja on the Twitters, 303ninja on the Instagram. I'm on the Blue Sky too as 303_ninja. I'm pretty sure. I think. I don't remember. I don't go there.
I don't remember either.
One day it'll blow up and it'll be worth going back to. Oh shit, song's running out. So you can call voicemail text at 314-764-7631. It spells out POI Pod 1. Email us at thepoipodcast@gmail.com. And that's really all at Twitter. And Twitter's POI Podcast. And that's everything, really. The song's running out, so we're getting out of here. We'll be back next week. Same time, same channel, or something like that. Bye.